Hi guys, it's Miss Cardwell, and today in Math 2 we're going to talk about several things. One, we're going to talk about compound events and the number of outcomes. And two, we will talk about compound events and the number of sums. And three, we're going to be counting principal. Now today guys, I have been having a lot of trouble making this video because I'm getting so tongue-tangled. So if I get tongue-tangled, I'm not stopping this time. I'm just going to keep going, and y'all can just laugh and roll with the punches with me. So, number one, compound events and the number of outcomes. In this problem, you have a die and a spinner. The die has 6 sides. The spinner has 3 spaces. If you roll a die and spin a spinner, how many outcomes could you have? Well, the die has 6 sides, and the spinner has 3 spaces. So, if you rolled a 1 on the die, you could get a 1, 1, a 1, 2, which would be 1 on the die and 2 on the spinner, or a 1, 3, which would be 1 on the die and 3 on the spinner. I've made a list over here showing 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. Now, if you rolled the die again and you got a 2, you could get 2, 1, 2, 2, or 2, 3, which represents 2 on the dice and 2, 1, 2, 2, or 2, 3. And I added that to the list. So you can see that each number on the die would have 3 possible matches with the spinner. So if you've got 6 sides on the die with 3 possible outcomes on the spinner, you could multiply the 2 together, and 6 times 3 is 18. So the number of outcomes that you could have is 18. Next, we're going to look at compound events and the number of sums. Well, this is the same as what we just did, except we're adding the sum of the numbers instead of just writing down the numbers. So, if you drew a card that had a 2, you could either spin a 1 or a 3 on the spinner. You would have 2, 1, or 2, 3. But if we're adding the outcomes, it's going to be 2 plus 1 equals 3, or 2 plus 3 equals 5. So you draw a card, spin the spinner, and these are the 2 outcomes you could have if you drew the card number 2. If you drew the card number 4, you could have these 2 outcomes. You could land on a 1 with the spinner or on a 3 with the spinner. It would be 4 plus 1 is 5, or 4 plus 3 is 7. Same with the number 6. If you drew the card with the 6, you would have 2 possible outcomes with the spinner. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 6 plus 3 is 9. Now, when you are listing how many sums are possible, you only need to list the ones that come out the same one time. So the number of sums possible, you could have a 3, you could have a 5, you could have a 7, or a 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 sums possible. And finally, we're going to talk about counting principal. Counting principal has a word problem with it, so let's read that. Kirk is making a music video, and he needs to cast a male and female lead. 2 females try out, and 5 males try out. How many different ways can Kirk cast the film? Well, you've got 5 males. So you've got male 1, male 2, male 3, male 4, and male 5. And you've got 2 females, female 1 and female 2. So let's make a list of the possible outcomes. It could be male 1 and female 1, or male 1 and female 2. male 2 and female 1, male 2 and female 2, male 3 and female 1, male 3 and female 2, male 4 and female 1, and male 4 and female 2, right there, and male 5 and female 1, or male 5 and female 2. So those are all the different ways that he could cast the lead roles in the film. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or you could just multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. Those are the different ways that he could cast the lead role for his video. So, looking at compound events and ordering and the number of outcomes, compound events and the number of sums, and counting principle. Now you can go onto iExcel and you can try these 3 lessons. You will see on Google Classroom or on iExcel, it should show it as well, where I have assigned you 3 lessons. One is compound events and the number of outcomes. One is compound events and the number of sums, and one is counting principle. Complete those and see how you do with it. I expect you to have no problem at all. Also, don't forget that when you're on iExcel, you can click on Learn with an Example or Learn by an Example, and it will show you another example of what I've just shown you. So good luck, guys. I miss you. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.